YouTube, Awesome Writer here, coming at you today with some big Sentai news. Well, some big expected Sentai news. It was the press conference and the first trailer, all stuff we knew was coming. Let's go ahead and talk about the press conference first, which basically just gives us base details on the cast, as well as our first look at the cast, you know, who's playing it. I never know any of the actors, so it never really matters to me, but we get to see what they're going to look like in the show, and they definitely stand out compared to traditional casts. They look like a bunch of cosplay, you know, it skirts that line between it looks kind of cheap and silly, but I also dig how unique it is, and I think it gives them a lot of personality. My only concern is I hope they don't become caricatures as a result of the personality traits they're getting, but it's too early to judge that, except I'm already judging Red for being a POS little twerp. But regardless, I think it's actually kind of unique the way they set them up to have these really standout looks to each of them, which really shows their personality, and I think could play interestingly into the series. But for just some general descriptions, we have the Red Ranger, who is played by, and I'm sorry, I'm probably going to butcher some of these names, but Tasai Sakai. He is Gira, the self-proclaimed ruler of Shu. Goddamn. No, I think it's like Shugadam. He is an orphan raised in the castle town with the power to become Kuwagata-Ohger. And then you have Otto Watanabe as Yanma Gust, the general of the Nikosopa, a land of the land of technology, who has worked his way up from the slums, who becomes Tanbo Ohger. Erika Murakami, who becomes Himeno Ran, queen of the Ishibana, land of arts and medicine, a selfish person who will still fight to save others. I feel like those are opposing ideas. She's Kamakiri Ohger. Yuzuki Hirakawa as Rita Kaniska. I think I've said that one wrong. Ruler and Chief Justice of the Frozen Land Goken, stubborn and cold-hearted, but transforms into the powerful Papillion Ohger. Tokaku as Aguragi Dabowski, Lord of Tofu Agriculture Land. He's manipulative and clever speaker of the power of Hachi Ohger. That's pretty funny. And then they fight the enemies, which we see in the trailer, which I'll talk about in a second. They're called Bugnarok. You know, we have to prevent Bugnarok. It's Emperor Deathnarak and Prime Minister Kamaju, and the series is going to premiere on March 5th. So that was the press conference. The trailer's pretty boilerplate. You know, there is a subbed version, but it's not like it's a ton of information in it. You just get the basis of like, oh, there was once a prophesized destruction that's coming, but they said also that, you know, 5 kings, heroes would stand up, and then that sets up the premise to just show everything. Like, we get a little bit of look at like some hieroglyphs that maybe are part of the prophecy. Look at the villains, obviously, which look pretty neat. It looks to be 2 to start. Also, of course, you have the henchmen, which we saw in the teaser, which I think are pretty neat henchmen. And then they, of course, highlight all the Rangers. You know, Red Ranger, unfortunately, looks to be my favorite character type, which is a hot-headed little twerp. Which again is unfortunate. I don't know, I'll reserve full judgment till I see it, and you know, sometimes those characters surprise me. Like, controversially, I think Lucky got better as the series went on, and Juru wound up being one of my favorites. So, you know, I still don't understand the affection for that type of character. It's like if Annoying was a person. A Blue Ranger looks like a human version of Squawkabilly, that new Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet with like the little cotton ball on his head. He looks like he could be an interesting character. All the suits look really good, by the way. I mentioned this in the teaser trailer, but I was like a little bit mixed and worried because I really liked the first professional shot, and they looked so cheap in some of the magazine scans, and they still don't look quite as shiny and professional as the poster, but they do look so much better in motion. Like, they do look shiny. It's funny because all of the leaks said like, oh, metallic. I think they need to understand the difference between shiny and metallic, because it was Beetleborg's metallics, not Beetleborg's shiny, so they were in a fix and now they've gone shiny. You know, you got Yellow. Of course, she looks like she might be kind of they say selfish, so kind of a spoiled character, so we probably are going to be in for an arc of her learning to become less selfless. It's weird, though, the description saying like, oh, she's selfish, but she's willing to be selfless. I mean, I'm sure that just means she's willing to fight, and she'll probably become more caring as the series goes on. I definitely, like, with her, she's kind of one of those standouts where I'm like, I'm worried about, don't be a caricature. I hope they're not caricatures. Black Ranger looks like he's going to be a fun character, honestly. Like, just the idea of him being the Lord of the Tofu area. I thought I misread that. Maybe it was a typo, but I mean, I like tofu, but I don't know. It looks like it could be fun. Now, Purple, I still feel like, as of this recording, I haven't seen any concrete information about their gender. Like, I think it's played by a girl actress, but I'm not sure if they're trying to be ambiguous, or if they're actually trying to keep the gender ambiguous on purpose, or if it's going to be like a Mulan situation where it's like a girl pretending to be a guy or a guy pretending to be a girl, or maybe they're non-binary. I don't know. But regardless, they're my favorite like costume design. They, to be honest, all of them kind of low key look like gym leaders. But this one in particular looks like a combination of one of the most recent Team Star designs as well as the Ice Gym from Scarlet and Violet. And I really like their costume design. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm gravitating towards that Ranger. I just really like their suit, and I don't know. I think that'll be one of the more interesting characters in the series. But they kind of just highlight all the characters. Within highlighting the characters, we also highlight the mecha. We get a look at each individual mecha corresponding to their individual kingdom. We get a little bit of look at this hub world that they're in. Like there's a ceremony going on where it looks like possibly when they're being recruited for the mission. It looks like the kingdoms are more interconnected. I honestly pictured this as like faraway kingdoms traveling to each other for this, but it looks like they're all interconnected kingdoms, and there's going to be some sort of ceremony where they're like, yes, the King-Ohgers have been chosen and all that stuff. And it looks really neat. I think the setting looks really cool. It makes for a really cool and very thematic looking like pilot. I really hope that this area stays around for the series. I think it would be cool instead of having just one cafe that they hung out in if this whole hub world was there. I mean, they'll probably have one singular base or hangout, but I hope that this area sticks around more than just the beginning and a handful of appearances, because I think it would make the series unique, and you have an opportunity to meet a variety of like colorful characters. I think I just really dug it, and there's cool stuff like it looks like Kuwagata's mech is like a statue. I don't know if it comes alive or something, but there's really cool stuff in there. I really dig the way that looks, and I think that area has a lot of potential for the series. And of course, we get a little bit more look at the mecha altogether, you know, similar shots to what we saw in the trailer. Something like blink and you miss it at the very end of the trailer looks to be how they control the mech, is in this weird, almost mech suit thing where these like things come down on them and it looks cool. It looks unique. It's not like it's the coolest looking thing because it looks a little odd, but I think it's rather unique. So that's pretty neat. But it's pretty much boilerplate stuff in regards to the series. I'm pretty excited, though. I really do like the suits and the concept. I think this has a lot of potential to feel very much like Sentai we know, but also feel very unique at the same time. I think there's a lot of potential with the different ruling personalities. The idea, if they're all rulers, if they're all leaders to a degree, how are they going to function as a team? Probably deferring to this mental patient that's going to be their leader. But you know what I mean. I think that could be really interesting, especially with the lore and the mythology. I just hope they don't become cartoons or anything like that. But from what I see, I think this will be pretty cool, guys. I'm pretty excited for this. Like I said, I will be covering the first couple episodes. We'll see how my coverage continues. Like I said, it really just depends on if people are enjoying the videos, if I'm enjoying covering it, but definitely expect coverage of the first few episodes when it comes out on March 5th. But what do you guys think of our first look at the series? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.